To prove my point, I started consulting for different companies. And I decided to take what, in my opinion, was the hardest company on planet Earth. Door-to-door sales. A friend of mine started a company. You know these security alarm businesses, they send these young men out to go knock on doors, right? Have you ever met anybody who goes, I love that job. That's like my favorite job in the world. I love knocking on somebody's door. Anybody? Have you? Now you have, because I freaking love it. I had so much fun doing it. I went out for 2.5 weeks as a consultant to go out for 3 days. I spent 2.5 weeks in the South, in Mississippi. I was so intrigued about how these guys thought. They were so negative, it was unbelievable. Before they would even approach the door, I think half these guys hoped nobody would even answer. So I put these guys through a boot camp. I said, you guys follow my schedule, stay on my schedule, and I'll use my own schedule. Give me no technical training, and I'll show you guys how to make it happen. And it has nothing to do with selling an alarm. And they looked at me like I was crazy. I said, just watch. So the first 2 days, I went out and followed their top sales guys, just to kind of understand. I didn't say anything, I just took notes. Most guys in the industry, if they sold 10 in a week, that's pretty good. That's a really good guy. So I went out, having no technical training. I took one guy with me just to fill out paperwork. The first day we did 12, the next day we did 13. In 2 days. And I knew nothing about the product. But I know people. Has anybody in here ever heard the story of Andrew Carnegie and Charles Schwab? You know that story? So Andrew Carnegie's the wealthiest man in the world. He had this CEO that was just a hammer. Anyways, it didn't go so well. The guy knew a ton about steel, but he made a lot of people upset. So Andrew Carnegie had to let him go. And he hired this financier, Charles Schwab, who knew nothing about steel. Why would he do that? He knew people. He was the first guy to earn $1 million salary. And at that time, $1 million was a lot of money. And he knew people. And people love Charles Schwab. The same is true in any business. You can learn the technical side of the equation. But in business, we have it backwards. In school, we have it backwards, right? Chiropractics, dentists, they learn this technical skill and craft. But then they have to go out, they have to start a business. They have to know accounting, they have to know how to market, and they have to know people. And they don't learn any of that. The same is true with these sales guys. They can tell me all sorts of things about how their widget works, but if you couldn't get audience with people, then you can't sell them anything. So this was their door approach. Hi, my name's Ryan with Alarm Protection. Slam door. So I'm going to show you something that I used. I would knock on the door. You're my person. Hello, how are you? I'm Shane, and you are? Debbie, so nice to meet you. Is that your red BMW out there? Man, that's a beautiful car, Debbie. So I would talk to Debbie like a person. I didn't care about the pitch. I cared about the person. I would say the person's name 3 times in the first 30 seconds. And before, their shirt said AP. And she would go, what does AP mean? And I would say, Debbie, awesome people, high five. Boom, let me step inside. And I was in the door and I was sitting down with Debbie. Before she even knew what happened, she has a new alarm system. So I went out and trained guys. So I did it for a week, a couple days myself, and then I said, okay, I want to see if I can teach this to people. What you're looking at on that sheet is week 1 was the week before I got there. Week 2, I took these same 4 people out to an area that they were at 3 weeks prior. 3 weeks prior, the 4 of them did approximately 10 deals, collectively. I said, let's go to the same area. We've already been to that area. I said, guys, the area doesn't make the man. The man makes the area. The same is true in your guys' business. The club doesn't make you. You make the club. It's what you do. It's who you are. It's not what other people cause you to be. So I said, we go out to Waynesboro, Mississippi, this little town. And you can see the numbers. In green were the numbers that they did that week. Each one of those guys had the best week they had ever had. and it was because they followed a strict schedule, they followed a strict diet. We made sure that their mind was at positive all the time. And I help them understand that when you knock on that door, and it will happen, and somebody tells you to go fly a kite, understand that there's that seed that gets deposited there. And it's how you manage this negative seed that will bear the fruits of the positive seed. And so it was instead of them dwelling on that door, that person being rude to them, they understood that, hey, that was a good thing. Because it was one step closer to a yes. The challenge with my whole philosophy here, you'll see in the following week, they suck again. I gave them a golf lesson, and they didn't stick. And so for me, one of the things that I have to work on is making sure that they maintain this. You see, guys, I can sit here all day and teach you all these cool techniques and show you, hey, read these things with your staff, and you'll see this great improvement in their work ethic, in their attitude, in the morale, and in the energy in your club. But if you do not do it, all this is pretty cool words. See, action is the most important part of positive psychology. I can sit here all day and think positive thoughts. If I don't take action, it does not matter. So what I would ask you guys to do today is when you go back to your club, organize a staff meeting, even if it's 5 minutes, first thing in the morning, and get mind positive. You will see tremendous results. You will help these people change their lives. Even the employee that's at $9 an hour. And if your purpose is to help people become better people, that's when you'll find success. And that's the true key to success. Care about the person, not the pitch. Care about the person, not the pitch. And everything else will take care of itself.